I wanted to escape the business of the city and decided to take a break with my wife in a peaceful countryside location. She had fond memories of spending summers there during her childhood and assured me it would be beautiful. I was looking forward to reconnecting with nature, having free time, and enjoying the clean air. The only difference from our usual vacations was that we would have to buy our own food instead of being served in hotels. I was wondering if there were any stores in the village, or if we needed to bring everything from the city. It seemed like you're more accustomed to city life, so let me explain. There are a couple of stores there, just with a different selection compared to what you're used to. Once we arrived, the rustic cabin felt cozy, and we started settling in. We cleaned, organized our things, and then went to explore the area. Each stump and corner held memories for my wife, and I embraced all the activities that the countryside had to offer. From watching old movies on a black and white TV to reading books and even learning how to cut grass, I had an amazing time. If it wasn't for a regrettable incident involving my wife, this would have been the best vacation of my life. Nevertheless, the village itself was really pleasant and not as desolate as I had imagined. I wanted to commend Tanya for her choice. I was genuinely enjoying myself, and there were actually more people here than I anticipated. I had expected to encounter only a couple of individuals, but it turned out to be a sizable village with some remaining infrastructure. The residents had access to work, childcare facilities, schools, stores, stables, a club, and a clinic. Of course, there were also administrative and other related organizations, but those were on a smaller scale. A few days after our arrival, my wife returned from a walk with her childhood friend. She introduced us to Lisa, a companion from her past. They used to do everything together and share meals. I greeted Lisa warmly and invited her to join us for dinner. She responded with a light-hearted joke about my wife's cooking skills. However, she ended up staying with us the entire evening. The friends reminisced about their numerous adventures. Lisa proposed that they go swimming in the river the following day when the water would be clean and warm. It's truly delightful. You must have forgotten the feeling of jumping out of the river when the air is still warm, and you shiver until you reach your towel at 5:30, Lisa exclaimed. However, her suggestion was met with resistance. I'm not waking up that early, not even for work, let alone for the river. I can't picture myself on the shore before the sun, one of the friends responded. This surprised Lisa because, in their childhood, they used to run to the river early in the morning, take a dip, and then return home as if nothing had happened, all before starting their daily activities. Since then, Tanya would wake up every morning, go to the river for a bath, and return after some time with wet hair and a happy expression. The narrator couldn't fathom how a river could bring such happiness to a person, unaware of the hidden options available. Occasionally, the narrator would observe Tanya bidding farewell to her friend, also wet and cheerful, near their gate. However, after a few days, Lisa noticed that Tanya's friend was no longer around. Curious, the narrator asked their wife, "Where's the friend?" To which their wife replied, "She left early, as the bus is coming soon." According to Tanya, Lisa took a different route the next day, as she had to collect something from a neighbor. However, she ended up staying to sunbathe, meeting acquaintances, and engaging in conversations, cycling, and providing a myriad of explanations for her actions. On Wednesday, we decided to restock our food supplies and went to the store. At the entrance, we encountered a man who caught my attention with a peculiar look, a mix of fear and embarrassment. He responded to my wife's greeting with an odd phrase, as if he was about to say one word but changed it midway, almost sounding like a swear word. To add to that, he bumped into me with his shoulder and made no effort to apologize. I couldn't understand why he was so flustered. Tanya, on the other hand, seemed to deliberately pay minimal attention to him, trying to hide it from the outside. It was like watching a child pretend not to want a candy that was right in front of them, avoiding eye contact and walking sideways with their back turned to the candy, hoping no one would suspect anything. I couldn't comprehend what was going on. I thought maybe I had misinterpreted the situation, but I had no idea who this mysterious man actually was. I wish people would have some manners. A simple hello or excuse me, I muttered quietly to my wife once we were inside the store, feeling slightly upset. While she gathered the groceries, I made my way to the beer refrigerator. As I passed by the window, another peculiar sight caught my eye. Just a short distance away, a group of several guys were waiting for the rude man. When he approached them, they were gazing towards the store, smirking and patting him on the shoulder. It seemed as though they were pleased with his behavior. I initially thought they might have had a grudge against newcomers, but it turned out there was a completely different reason behind their actions. Throughout the entire evening, the encounter with the mysterious man and the camaraderie with my friends replayed in my mind. I never expected to see him again, especially not with my wife. However, fate doesn't always align with our desires. The next morning, Tanya's alarm clock once again pierced through my sleep. As usual, I chose to disregard it and continue sleeping. I quickly got out of bed and got dressed within a few minutes. It was early in the morning, which was unusual for me, but I was driven by some sleepy logic. I had the simple intention of quietly observing my wife and her girlfriend swimming. As I approached the scene, the first thing that caught my eye was a horse-drawn wagon, with the horse sharing my lack of cheerfulness at this early hour. However, I didn't see Lisa anywhere. As I got closer, I heard peculiar sounds coming from behind the bushes. They were familiar sounds, but usually reserved for evenings and nights when I fulfilled my marital duties. Curiosity got the better of me, and despite knowing it was improper, I couldn't bring myself to leave, especially since I hadn't seen my wife and was starting to worry. Little did I know, there was a good reason for my concern. After taking a couple more steps, I peeked behind the row of bushes and immediately regretted agreeing to come to the village. There, I saw Tanya in the arms of a man who I recognized as the guy I saw at the store yesterday. For a few seconds, I was left speechless and couldn't find the words to express my shock. But soon enough, they noticed my presence. The man swiftly got up, grabbed the towel they were using as a makeshift bed, wrapped it around his hips, snatched his clothes, and hurriedly made his way to his wagon. Without wasting a moment, he hopped on and urged the horse forward, disappearing from sight within seconds. All that remained was Tanya sitting on the grass, and an uncomfortable silence hung in the air. This is my first boyfriend, so what does it change? Tanya finally spoke, seemingly unaware of the gravity of the situation. He works as a stable boy. We haven't seen each other in years, and then we unexpectedly cross paths. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Yeah, what do you mean met? You're married. I finally found my voice, uttering the words with a mixture of disbelief and disappointment. He is married and has 2 daughters, I stated. Oh, I see. So the 2 of you are well matched, I replied. Our relationship had started innocently enough, with first feelings, experiences, and relationships. However, it became a fog-like obsession unintentionally. Uncertain of what to do, I wondered if I should confront him, discuss the situation, or if anything would even change as a result. My life was already spiraling downwards, and it seemed like nobody's business but my own. Observing the behavior of others around us, particularly at the store, it appeared that everyone was aware of our affair. If this was the case, his wife would likely find out soon too. But what action, if any, would she take? Perhaps this is just how they interact with their exes when they meet. As my vacation drew to a close, I realized that my family life was also coming to an end. I decided to head into town. Would you like a ride, or are you taking the wagon? I asked Tanya. Please don't mock me, she responded. Well, who knows, maybe you'll decide to stay here for good. It seems like you have someone to lean on, I suggested. We packed our things and drove home, exchanging very few words. As we pulled up in front of her mother's house, I simply stated, "This is your stop." Dear friends, thank you for listening to our stories. Subscribe to the channel, put likes, and leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to press the bell not to miss new stories, which we try to publish every day. We also remind you that everyone can share unique stories from their life or the lives of friends, which can be sent to us by email, which is specified in the description of the video. Good luck to everyone and be happy.